Remain standing as we invite Bishop Johnson to invoke God's presence on tonight's proceedings. Philbert Johnson is the Administrative Bishop for the Evangelical Association in Antigua and Barbuda.
Thank you so much. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here. We thank you that we can acknowledge you. We thank you that we can give you the praise. Father, we appreciate this very wonderful event that we have, where we are showing, Lord, one of our great heroes, not only of Antigua and Barbuda, but of this Caribbean region. Father, this is really a wonderful occasion. We thank you, Lord, for the Eastern Caribbean Bank that has seen it fit, oh God, to show, Father, the honor to one of our great heroes, oh Lord. Father, we thank you for Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. He has inspired so many of us, oh Lord. And Father, we are happy to know we can give him the credit and the honor while he's alive. Father, what I love about this event is that we are showing each other the level of appreciation, the level of honor. It is so important that we do this, not only when people die, but while they're alive. And I'm happy to know, God, that our brother can be here this evening, oh God, to hear from us, that we appreciate him, that we appreciate the great contribution that he has made to this region. And so, Lord, it's not just a formal occasion, but deep in our hearts, we are so happy that he has inspired so many of us. Even for myself, Lord, as a young man growing up in Jamaica, oh God, this great man has inspired me so much. And he has inspired so many of us as Caribbean people. And so we want people to know this afternoon is not just about a formal occasion, but we are looking at our brother and we are saying, indeed, we appreciate you. Indeed, we appreciate the contribution that you have made to our lives. We also thank you for the Eastern Caribbean Bank and the contribution that they have been making. May we understand the significant contribution that they have been making toward the monetary policies towards the Eastern Caribbean. Father, there are so many financial institutions across the world that are in turmoil. But Lord, we thank you for the governor of the bank. We thank you for the team that has kept it so stable. And so, Lord, this afternoon now, we pray that you will fellowship with us, oh God. And we all say amen.
Amen. Your Excellencies, Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Your Excellency, Sir Vivian Alexander Richards, National of Antigua and Barbuda and Guest of Honor, members of Cabinet and Parliament, Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, Minister of Finance in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Chairman of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Monetary Council, Mr. Timothy, Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Dr. Valda F. Henry, Deputy Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Ms. D. Tracy Polius, Chief Director of Policy, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Mr. Robert Humphrey, Director of the Currency Management Department, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Gareth Evans, other members and staff of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, special invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This year, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank celebrates its Ruby anniversary. In this, our 40th year, we have undertaken to celebrate in all aspects that you can imagine. We've had a number of celebratory activities. We highlighted the intellect of our region's people with a series of lectures throughout the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. This culminated with a grand global conference a few weeks ago where we brought together leaders in the financial sphere to engage and generate ideas. We created a platform for the youth to deliberate in an historic regional youth parliament. We celebrated the cultural diversity, creativity, culinary skills, and artistic expression of our people with our Creative Arts Festival and Island Night. As we continue our celebrations, it is indeed a privilege to welcome you all to this momentous occasion as the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank recognizes a regional sporting icon in a way that only the central bank can. So without further ado, I welcome to the podium Mr. Rosbert Humphrey, our Director of Currency, to offer brief remarks, after which I invite Mr. Gareth Evans, who is the representative from Delarue. Mr. Humphrey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kindly allow me to adopt the protocol already established. So the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank will issue a $2 circulation banknote to commemorate its year-long 40th anniversary. So although it's a commemorative banknote, it is legal tender and it will be in circulation, meaning that you can actually spend it, you can use it in your payments of any amount. The $2 banknote, it is printed on polymer, and it is smaller in size, smaller than the current banknote series that we have in circulation. The same portrait orientation, and the banknote will be available to the public from over the counter at commercial banks throughout the Eastern Caribbean next week. I think in Antigua from Monday, some of the other countries from Tuesday, and the rest from about Wednesday. So Wednesday the latest, the banknotes would be obtained from commercial banks throughout the Eastern Caribbean. Thereafter, you can obtain it from businesses and from persons in your transactional exchanges. So you can get it back in your change when you jump on the bus. You can get it back in your change. You can pay the bus with it. You can go to the supermarket, get it back in change or pay. Okay, so although it is a commemorative banknote, it will be in circulation. So let me just say about the banknote. It was created through a collaborative effort with Delarue. Delarue are the printers of genuine EC banknotes. And they would have used their artistic expertise and high security features. Let me say this. It takes about 2 years to actually develop a banknote from scratch. However, Delarue would have done this for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank within 1 year. Let us give them a round of applause. I want to make mention of my staff, the staff in the currency management department in St. Kitts. They would have lent their support, their feedback and critique, to different processes when we were actually discussing and the back and forth that we actually had with Delarue in coming up with the final product. Now, although they did not know everything on the banknote, whatever they knew, they provided feedback and constructive feedback and critique, accordingly. Now, the features of the banknote are synonymous to the Eastern Caribbean. The aquatic ecosystem, marine biodiversity, the ECCB buildings, the past and present buildings. The swirl, there's a swirl at the back of the banknote, not quite defined, but it forms the number 8. So if you think 8 and you look at the back of the banknote, you can just see that swirl. Okay, and you know what that number 8 signifies, the 8 countries in the ECCU. We also have the chain of islands as we have on the current banknote series at the back of the note. Right? And we did not do Queen Elizabeth II. We did not do King Charles III. Okay, so we have actually changed the Queen on this particular banknote. I say no more. We have actually used 3 main colors on the banknote: yellow, blue, and ruby red. And you know the significance of yellow in the Eastern Caribbean, our brilliant sunshine. The blue, our bright skies. And the ruby red, which highlights the ECCB 40-year milestone. And 40 is significant to, ruby red is significant to 40 years. So that was our initial thought. Dominant on the banknote is water, which is symbolic to the unrestricted flow, unrestricted movement of people and money. Once people move, money move. So just as the fish move freely across the waters in the ECCU. So everything ties nicely and quite fit into the ECCB's purpose, the ECCB's achievement and vision over the past 40 years. So the brilliant yellow, signifying the energy, the wealth, the intellect, the optimism and positivity of our people. The oceanic theme, the blue, which is expressing the abundance and the limitless potential, the freedom, the stability, and the interconnectivity among our people. The ruby red color, which is symbolic of passion, the wisdom, commitment, success, and protection. Now, we also have the 40th anniversary logo on the banknote with the words stable, transformative, accountable, resilient below it. And those 4 words would abbreviate it to STAR, STAR, which is the ECCB's mantra. So we also, the banknotes would be limited in supply. We did not print a ton load of the banknotes. Okay, so please ensure that you get 1 or even more, right, for yourselves, for your friends and your family in the diaspora. Now, I can go on and talk money all night. I'm passionate about this, but I was only given 3 minutes, and I'm sure I did an overrun, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Humphrey. Mr. Evans?
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everybody. With all protocols respectfully observed, I won't read out the full list. I hope you don't mind. As you will be aware, for the past 40 years, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has faithfully served its people through, amongst other things, the issuance of currency and the promotion of its unrestricted flow throughout its 8 member states. What you may not know is that for the past 40 years, De La Rue has had the honour of serving Eastern Caribbean Central Bank through the provision of that currency. Our 2 institutions have worked closely over the years to ensure people in the ECCU can have both pride in their banknotes and faith in their security. I am in the fortunate position to be the current custodian of this relationship. I know my predecessors, many of whom are still in our business, are very jealous of me standing here right now today, and not just because they're currently back in the UK freezing cold and waiting for snow, but because actually the relationships with the people of the ECCB transcend what we would normally expect from a working relationship. It goes beyond that, and therefore the institution and its people have a very special place in our normally cold corporate hearts. In the 6 years I've been working with ECCB, it's demonstrated itself to be a leader and an innovator. The issuance recently of its Dcash digital currency is a testament to that. But luckily for me, though, the governor and his team at the bank still recognise the importance of innovating with physical currency and banknotes. The introduction of the award-winning polymer banknote series from 2019 is, again, testament to that drive for innovation. So innovative, it's actually proven the catalyst for others to follow in the region. Thank you very much, Governor and team. Which brings us to the reason we're here this evening. What better way for us to celebrate with the ECCB and their history of innovation than with another first? The first $2 commemorative banknote for the ECCB, and a first that doesn't feature Her late Majesty the Queen. Say no more, as Mr. Humphrey said. A commemorative banknote that combines the latest in banknote security technology with a cutting-edge modern design. Free-flowing aquatic design representing the unrestricted flow of marine life reflects perfectly ECCB's mantra and purpose of the unrestricted flow of money and people through the region. The security feature combination of blue-tinted holographic foil, highly reflective silver and gold shimmering elements visible from both sides of the note through the window is the first time these features have ever been combined. Again, ECCB is leading once more. So all that's left for me to say is congratulations to the ECCB on its 40th anniversary. We're incredibly proud of the work we have undertaken with you over all of these years. The introduction of a truly stunning and innovative commemorative banknote is a fitting celebration. We thank you for the trust you place in De La Rue, and it's our pleasure to support you as you continue to break new ground. I'm certain the people of the region will love their new $2 as much as we do. Congratulations and thank you.
One housekeeping matter, A17187. Please check your vehicle. Thank you. I invite you to sit back and draw your attention to the monitors as we present to you an ECCB historical reel. As we've mentioned, we're celebrating 40 years, and so this takes us back into some of the memorable occasions that have happened in the life of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Please enjoy.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, celebrates 40 years of transformative leadership and innovation. The ECCB has been diligently fulfilling its mission of advancing the good of the people of the currency union for 40 years by maintaining monetary and financial stability and promoting growth and development. It is the monetary authority for a population of more than 600,000 people spanning 6 sovereign states: Antigua and Barbuda, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, St. Christopher, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and 2 overseas territories of the United Kingdom, Anguilla and Montserrat. On October 1st, 1983, the East Caribbean Currency Authority, ECCA, was upgraded to a central bank, the ECCB. The ECCB's predecessor, the ECCA, had been established in 1965 to issue and manage EC currency after its predecessor, the British Caribbean Currency Board, dissolved in 1964 when Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago withdrew membership to form their own central banks. Shortly after Barbados signaled its intention to withdraw from the ECCA and establish its own central bank, the West Indies Associated States Council of Ministers decided to move the headquarters of the East Caribbean Currency Authority to St. Kitts. 1 year after Barbados's withdrawal, ECCA's headquarters transferred to St. Kitts on May 20th, 1975, situated at the corner of Central and Church Streets. The move to St. Kitts was overseen by the Managing Director of the ECCA, Sir Cecil Jacobs, a national of St. Kitts and Nevis. The next year, on July 7, 1976, the EC dollar was pegged to the US dollar at a fixed rate of EC $2.70 to US $1. Nearly 7 years later to the day, on July 5, 1983, 7 governments signed the agreement establishing the ECCB as the monetary authority, with Anguilla eventually signing on as a full member on April 1, 1987. On October 1, 1983, the ECCB was officially commissioned and operated out of the former ECCA headquarters. 3 months later, the first meeting of the Monetary Council established in accordance with Article 7 of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Agreement was held on January 20th, 1984. Sir Cecil Jacobs, who was then the first governor of the ECCB, led an initial staff of 55 persons. He was ably assisted by Sir Errol Allen, a Vincentian who served as deputy governor until his retirement on March 31, 2005. The first ECCB agency office was established in Grenada on November 1, 1984, paving the way for the expansion of the ECCB's footprint to all its member countries. On October 1, 1987, the ECCB agency office in St. Lucia was established, followed by one in Dominica on November 1st, 1989, and one in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on April 1st, 1990, with the remaining ECCB agency offices opening up the next year. Montserrat on March 4th, 1991, then Anguilla on May 23rd, and Antigua and Barbuda on June 15th, 1991. On November 21, 1992, a ceremony was held to break ground for the construction of the new ECCB headquarters at Bird Rock. The bank moved into its new headquarters in August 1994, and it was officially opened on October 29th that year. Sir Cecil Jacobs retired in September 1989, and Sir K. Dwight Venner of Vincentian became governor of the ECCB from December 1st, 1989, and served until his retirement in November 2015. The present governor, Mr. Timothy N.J. Antoine, a Grenadian, assumed the role on February 1st, 2016. The year 2022 was a year of recognition for the ECCB. The ECCB introduced polymer notes in 2019 and won the Best New Banknote Series from Reconnaissance. Come October 1st, the date that the ECCB was put into force 40 years ago, the ECCB headquarters will be entirely carbon neutral. This is thanks to a solar canopy project started in 2017, which was recognized with the Central Banking 2022 Green Initiative Award. Ever in the vanguard of innovation, the ECCB on March 31st, 2021 introduced Dcash, the first central bank digital currency CBDC to be launched by a currency union. As the ECCB enters its 40th year, the governor is adeptly supported by the institution's first female deputy governor, Dr. Valda F. Henry, a national of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Ms. D. Tracy Polius, a national of St. Lucia, who serves as Chief Director Policy. Dr. Henry succeeded Mr. Trevor Brathwaite of St. Lucia, who served as the second deputy governor from 2006 to 2021. There is no way to fit all that the ECCB is, does, and means for the people of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, ECCU, into this historical reel. You are therefore invited to log on to the ECCB's virtual museum when it launches later this year to get a full-fledged history of this pioneering central bank. The leadership and the staff of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank proudly celebrate the bank's 40th Ruby anniversary and dedicate
for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And so we move now into the present with our current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine, and I invite him up on stage now to offer some remarks.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Carol Ford Harrigan, our country manager in Antigua and Barbuda. I want to start by acknowledging Almighty God, for it is in Him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. I will stand on the protocol already established, but I would like to recognize Head of State, Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General, Chairman of the Monetary Council, Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, our members of Cabinet and Parliament, and our special honoree, the man of the moment. So Viv, I want to look at you. I'm in the presence of greatness. I want to look at you, sir. So Vivian Richards. Thank you. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and by the way, I want to also acknowledge all our citizens and friends of the Currency Union who are joined into this broadcast and who are listening around the Currency Union and around the world. I want to greet you too. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is a symbol of stability, a bulwark of resilience, and a veritable center of excellence. Yes, you can applaud. You know, sometimes we are a little shy to applaud ourselves. Sometimes the headlines are the fake, the bad stuff. We should always applaud the good stuff. This is year 40. You just saw the historical reel. And as our country manager indicated, all year long we have been celebrating our 40th anniversary, themed ECCB at 40, a year of reflection, celebration, and implementation. And as you heard, we have done many things this year to commemorate this special milestone moment. And that brings us to this evening. Why precisely are we here? Well, I think you kind of know where we're going. But one of the things that we absolutely wanted to do to mark this momentous milestone was the issuance of a commemorative note. I am pleased to say when we proposed this idea to our Monetary Council, which our Finance Minister, currently chaired by Minister Gonzalez, there was unanimous support for the issuance of that note. I'm also pleased to advise that we were instructed to bring a new image on the notes. And that takes us to why we are here this evening. Does anyone recall the year in which our central bank pegged US $1 to 2.7 EC? Anybody remembers? Whoever said it first gets this prize. Thank you very much. It was just on the screen. 1976. We're checking to see if you're paying attention. And does anyone know when the great Sir Vivian Richards recorded his highest test score, the year? Oh, no, what is the year, sir? 1976. What's the score? 2. Oh, there you go. Minister Gonzalez, you're a fan. You said that very quickly. And that was just about a month after, so we hit 291, a month after we pegged our currency 1 US to 2.7 EC. Sir Viv has played all around the world and mastered all conditions. That's why he's called the Master Blaster. Your currency, our currency, the EC dollar, has weathered many shocks, hurricanes, recessions, volcano, pandemic, what else? And we are still, just as Sir Viv stood tall, we are still standing tall. Can you see where I'm going with this? Or is Pelusa declare? And that is why this evening we are delighted to announce that we are honoring in a very special way. The singular honor is being conferred on this great man, our hero, Sir Vivian Richards, by placing him on our $2 note. I will leave the unveiling for our chairman of the Monetary Council, so you'll have to wait just a little longer. But before I sit, let me say this. Sir Viv, thank you for the honor. It is our honor for affording us this privilege to place your image on our strong currency. You have inspired many within the region and around the world. And yes, sir, you are playing cricket, but what you have done goes way beyond the boundary. I could never make the Grenada cricket team. But as your governor of the central bank, you have inspired me. and you have inspired many others around the region. So our hope is that by this act we make today, you will deliver fresh inspiration for the people of the Caribbean. Not just for cricketers. Cricketers, please be inspired. But for all of our youth and our people around the world. Because in you, I hope we can rekindle through this act a consciousness about Caribbean civilization, self-belief, a sense of purpose, and fearlessness, as you so ably demonstrated on the field of play. That small nations can do big things on the global stage. So that your legacy, Sir Viv, hopefully will live even longer, will be elevated, amplified through this simple but very important act of placing your image on our currency. I hope that this gives you tremendous satisfaction, joy, pride, you, your family, your friends, and your many admirers around the world. Sir, you deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor, for putting this all into perspective. I invite the Honorable Darrell Matthew, Minister of Education, Sports, and the Creative Industries, to bring brief remarks on behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister, who unfortunately could not be here, after which we will have a special rendition.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General, other distinguished guests, specially invited guests, and certainly the man of the moment, Sir Vivian Richards. You know, when I was asked to deliver remarks on behalf of the Prime Minister, I was hoping that they sent the prepared remarks, which they did. But I couldn't miss the opportunity to say a few words of my own before delivering the Prime Minister's remarks. And I want to share a little story, a true story, with you. Several years ago, while I was in university in the United Kingdom, in England specifically, I overheard a conversation between an American young man and an Indian. And I was just listening, because I don't think they knew I was from Antigua and Barbuda. I'm listening, and they started to discuss cricket. And the American guy, his name was Chris. Chris said he has heard about Sir Vivian Richards. And Sir Vivian Richards is the Michael Jordan of cricket. And the Indian guy said, no. Michael Jordan is the basketball version of Sir Vivian Richards. And when he said that, I had to use the opportunity to now say, well, I'm from Antigua and Barbuda. Because, you know, when you're Antiguan and Barbudan, a small country, one of the smallest countries in the world, and you have icons that are immediately recognizable globally, it makes you proud. It gives you a sense of pride to say, I know Viv Richards. He's from my country. It gives you a sense of pride when you listen to the stories about Sir Viv, particularly in England. My family in the UK often talk about when the West Indies team came to England and the Oval was packed at a time when racial tensions were high. And they looked to the West Indies cricket team at the time for inspiration and for motivation. And they looked to its leader, its captain at the time, who had never lost a test series as captain. They looked to persons like him and his contemporaries for the sort of motivation and inspiration to allow them to fight another day under difficult circumstances. And so, Sir Viv, on my personal behalf, I would like to congratulate you. I'd like to let you know that as a grateful nation, we continue to thank you for your exploits and for the manner in which you have represented Antigua and Barbuda and the Caribbean throughout the world. So now I get to the Prime Minister's remarks. And the Prime Minister writes, "Good evening, everyone. Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards brought pride and dignity to Antiguans and Barbudans and to all Caribbean citizens at home and abroad during his magnificent cricketing days. His cricketing performances seemed unreal and beyond mortal. And he did what Sir McLean Emanuel, sitting right in the audience, related in song, fast or slowly, you're going back to the boundary. Yet, it was his training in Antigua that prepared him to play the extraordinary role which he was able to carve out for himself. His father, he has recalled, was instrumental in having a young Vivian think clearly about his cricketing strokes and not to surrender his wicket easily. His time spent in England playing county cricket filled him with the discipline that might otherwise have escaped him. In the recent version of the Antigua and Barbuda passport, the stadium bearing Sir Vivian Richards' name is embossed on one of the pages. He is among the most celebrated of citizens, for he is one of cricket's most public global figures. He has done us proud. Today we will witness the launch of an ECCB currency bill that features Sir Viv. Only Sir Arthur Lewis, our region's Nobel Prize winner for economics, and Sir Dwight Venner, former governor, adorn our notes, along with our former head of state, the Queen of England, here in Antigua and Barbuda. Sir Vivian Richards therefore joins a pantheon of outstanding persons whose image we have fixed in history. Congratulations. I, as Prime Minister, and I speak on behalf of the Prime Minister, take great pride in knowing that he has made such a proposal, that I have made such a proposal a few years ago, and it is now taking root at the ECCB. Dr. Antoine is to be congratulated for persuading his board to move on these innovations. Sir Viv, I thank you for attending this function as a show of support for your role as a national hero, and to all of us here in Antigua and Barbuda and the ECCB. Thank you very much, Sir Vivian Richards, and congratulations once again. On behalf of the Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, and on behalf of a grateful nation, I once again congratulate you on this recognition, Sir Vivian Richards.
When the bowling tight, if you see the man, and that defense, the bowler can't get you back. Then he could score his goal and really and he will. He could be the title seal, see a technical skill. When that man tries, pass the field, and when the bowler standing still, his breathless blade up, right down the stump. So many times as they come and take a dump. No more holds a terror for BB and results. That Thompson, that Levy, that baby, that Shanda Shaker. Perfect coordination of body and mind. That brother is really dynamite. Race our spin, he don't give a fuck but you holding him. Pass us slowly, going back to the boundary. England, here they come. This funk of a man. This classical play on his fellow Antiguan. And the robbers racking have back once again your country. Different with the racking bowlers, boundary after boundary. Watch the scoreboard, sitting on. When the day and batting, the machine was run. People applauding for runs like that, and another splendor with a century. No more holds a terror for William Richards, that Thompson, that Levy, that baby, that Shanda Shaker. Perfect coordination of body and mind. That brother is very dynamite. Yes, hard spin. You ain't give a damn when you're bowling. Pass a book. You're going back to the boundary and see.
What a song. Hello? What a song, what a song. And we will save a little bit more of the jigging and the dance. And I see that we're still trying to maintain our composure, but soon enough we'll be able to let our hair down and dance a bit more to Sir McLean and the Cutting Edge Band. So we have arrived to the appointed time where you get to see what we have behind our veil at the moment. And so I invite to the stage Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, Minister of Finance and the Grenadines, and Chairman of the ECCB Monetary Council, who will be doing the unveiling. I also invite Sir Vivian Richards, our honoree, our esteemed honoree, to be present as we unveil our images of the new $2 commemorative note. So what we have on stage is the front and the back of the note, hence two coverings. And so we shall unveil. You can. So this is the back of the note. And so let us unveil the front of the note bearing the image. And Sir Viv, we do have a special presentation for you. It is your copy embossed in or framed in glass with the first issue. And before we hear the response from Sir Viv, I bring your attention to the screen for a more graphical presentation of our note, and this is for you in the audience as well as for our viewing public. After, Sir Viv, you can just offer your response.
Introducing the EC $2 commemorative note.
In celebration of the ECCB's 40th anniversary, the $2 note is elegantly marked with ruby red highlights. A closer look at the note will reveal an aquatic design which depicts our region's rich marine life. The window of the note provides a glimpse of our fauna, delicately captured in the aqua blue tinted holographic foil. The EC $2 note also features the latest in currency security and innovation. It celebrates our region's heritage as it showcases our legendary cricketer, Sir Vivian Richards, the Master Blaster. The EC $2 note will be available at commercial banks throughout the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union from 6 December, and you can use it to conduct your normal business. The EC $2 commemorative note. Security, innovation, and celebration.
Congratulations, Sir Viv. And this is indeed an honor to be present for this moment. I invite you to offer your response.
How times have changed since the plain days. I'd like to believe that all the protocols are in place, but we got His Excellency Sir Rodney in the house with us tonight, and more so, the guys who are dealing with the currency. You cannot forget Mr. Antoine here tonight as well too. These are the currency individuals. We cannot forget them. To all the other high-profile individuals in the house, members of cabinet, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone. I'm happy to be here. I greatly appreciate your support. You know, as a sportsman, I've always tried to perform my best when I knew I had the support of the people who came out to see the matches. I'm truly humbled tonight to receive this recognition from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. To be honored in such a way is something dreams are made of. On a personal note, I wish my parents, Malcolm and Gretel Richards, was here tonight to witness this. They are the ones who instilled in me the self-belief which enabled me to be successful. To them, I say a big thank you. The bank is today celebrating 40 years of its existence. It has played a significant role in continued development of the islands of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, and has carried out its mandate to stabilize the economies of these islands that we love so much. The ECCB is responsible for the stability in the Eastern EC dollar that we have seen over the years. As many of you might know, I have taken up golf as a hobby, and of course, it's a great way to stay in shape. Over the years, I have the opportunity to have sponsored tournaments with the purpose to benefit organizations which serves the public good. Tomorrow at Cedar Valley Golf Course, I'm sponsoring another tournament. All the proceeds will go to the Renal Society. The Renal Society serves persons who are suffering kidney failure and are in need of dialysis. With this in mind, I have discussed this issue with the representatives of the ECCB. When this event is being organized, they have generously agreed to contribute 25,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars. to the Renal Society of Antigua and Barbuda. I would like to publicly thank the ECCB for their excellent corporate citizens and showing time and time again that as Caribbean people, we can successfully accomplish great things when we work together on our common goal. Please give the ECB a big round of applause. Their generosity has been fully accepted. We thank you so much. I'd also like to thank the Sanders for hosting this event. And thank you all again for coming this evening. Really appreciate it. Thank you again.
And to give his remarks, we invite the Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, ECCB Monetary Council Chairman, at this point. Back to the stage.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Sir Rodney, Sir Viv. It's the first time I sat between two knights in my life. Members of Cabinet, ladies and gentlemen, other great cricketers in the audience today, great Calypsonians, and those who aspire to be great Calypsonians. Good evening all. I was 14 years old when my father took me to what was then called the Antigua Recreation Ground to watch a test match between England and the West Indies. West Indies, about 18 months earlier, had just completed the first phase of the famous Blackwash in the United Kingdom, defeating England 5-0, led by many brilliant cricketers, but especially by the swagger, the style, the grace, the talent, the tenacity of Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. And that team and those cricketers and Sir Viv, by the end of that Blackwash, had entered a new stratosphere. They were demigods to the people of the Caribbean, the people of the West Indies, and particularly the people of the Eastern Caribbean. And we didn't know if it could happen again. It was the first time the England had ever lost 5-0. It's the first time a test team had ever lost so convincingly. And England came to the West Indies and got a second Blackwash. But in that match, as a 14-year-old, I actually went, I'll confess to Viv, I was a Michael Holding fan. And I was happy that I think he got a half century in that match, and he took a couple of wickets, which is rare for Michael to make a half century. But out came, in the second innings, Viv Richards. And he proceeded to score what was then the fastest century in the history of Test cricket. I think it was 56 balls. And he was not out 110. And I remember as a little boy watching his friend Ian Botham bowling to him, and Sir Viv dispatching him to the boundary, to the point where when the skipper asked Ian how to set the field, he said, you should put some people up in the double-decker stands because we're not going to catch Viv today. And he exemplified then, as he does now, all that is great about the Caribbean people. And that is why when we had the decision in the Monetary Council, an important decision to commemorate our 40th anniversary of independence, of leadership, of sustained excellence, not episodic excellence, of stability, of confidence, of belief in self, we thought that we had to do two things. The first thing we had to do was to cut a colonial umbilical cord visually and replace the image of a distant foreign sovereign with a homegrown talent who embodied all that it is to be great and West Indian and Caribbean. And it wasn't long after Prime Minister Gaston Brown suggested Sir Viv, and I don't think it was a home field decision there. We all agreed unanimously that who better to exemplify the new maturity of the central bank, the sustained excellence of the central bank, the years of leadership of the central bank, and the Caribbean unity that is embodied by the central bank than somebody who led Caribbean people to greatness, who stood up in the face of oppression, who demonstrated resilience, who had a strong, principled position on the issues of the day. Today, apartheid raises its head in new forms and in new locations, morphing into genocide, and our sports people are quiet. But Sir Viv was never quiet. Sir Viv turned down a blank check to play in apartheid South Africa and understood the importance of West Indies cricket and West Indian unity. And now we have a modern set of cricketers so consumed with money that they forget the importance of the unity of the West Indies cricket team. And we have the indignity of a World Cup cricket tournament going on in India and seeing the Netherlands and Afghanistan and all kind of people that I've never heard about playing cricket, but no West Indies. Those who chased money in apartheid South Africa, those who chase money today will never find themselves on money like Sir Viv does today. And we are really proud. We are eternally proud that greatness and the inspiration that is Sir Vivian Richards today. We hope as a central bank that not only, as the governor says, we will inspire some cricketers, we hope, but that we will inspire all citizens of the Eastern Caribbean to reflect on the qualities and the principles and the excellence that are embodied in this image of Sir Viv. I would have made the blue-green so that we could reflect the red, gold, and green wristband that he wore so often to show his solidarity with a number of causes that remain near and dear to all of us in the Caribbean. But I think that this is a beautiful image. The bill itself is almost a work of art, and Sir Viv is timelessly captured dispatching another hapless bowler somewhere over mid-wicket, it looks like. I think that in this transition from an image that embodied our past and an image that embodied sometimes a difficult past, we look with this commemorative bill to a new, confident, exciting future. And there is no better person that we could have chosen to embody that new, confident, exciting future than our own Master Blaster, the great, the immortal, the legend, Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. I want to thank him so much for being here today on behalf of the entire Monetary Council and on behalf of all fans of cricket and all 14-year-old boys who worship the demigod, to thank Sir Vivian Richards and to thank the governor for taking this very important step today. It is more than a $2 bill. It is more than a symbol, and we hope that it is an inspiration for generations current and future in the greatness and the possibility and the potential of the people of our Eastern Caribbean. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And in that vein, this is also a very graphical representation of what our currency notes can look like. Images that reflect and represent us. And so the central bank is also taking this opportunity to seek feedback from the public in terms of images that can replace the Queen. So when you get a text or you see a survey floating around, we really want to hear your views on the image that is being proposed to replace the former head of state. At this point in time, we do want to specially recognize a few persons. They would be our former and current board members, as well as our former council members who were available to be here this evening. Before we do, we also would like to make a special presentation to the Governor General as head of state, and following Sir Viv's presentation of a physical version of the note, we similarly have special presentations to present to you. Governor, I invite you on stage to present these gifts.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. I'd like to invite the chairman back and invite our executive committee as well. So here's what we're going to do. We've been around for 40 years, and we wanted to just simply say a special thank you to persons in Antigua and Barbuda who have served on both the Monetary Council and our Board of Directors. Some of them are not here this evening, starting with the Honorable Gaston Brong, Prime Minister. Of course, as you know, he's at COP 28 in Dubai. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a schedule to have him here today, but obviously he has sent his regards and his remarks through Minister Matthew. So we will leave, we will have the token for Prime Minister Brong on another occasion, or perhaps through our country manager. We also wanted to recognize Mr. Harold Lovell, who served as a member of the Monetary Council, and I believe Mr. Lovell is here. And please, former Minister of Finance and member of the Monetary Council. So the chairman of the council will make the presentation to you. Come up, please, Mr. Lovell. Don't go yet. We take a picture together. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much. Thank you. Also, we have Mr. Dr. Errol Court, and unfortunately, he was not able to make it, but I think his sister is here. So here's I'm going to call on you kind of suddenly to accept on behalf of Dr. Errol Court. So he also served as Finance Minister and a member of the Monetary Council. Then we want to acknowledge Mr. John St. Luce, a member of our Monetary Council. Unfortunately, he's not here, but his daughter is here. And I'd like to ask her to come forward to receive this recognition. And it's always good when family members come, because family members support these people in public life. And they very often they're unsung heroes. So I want to thank Mr. St. Luce. I'll join you as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. I also would like to now turn to our board at this time, and we want to recognize the distinguished, long-serving, and current director, Mr. Whitfield Harris, Jr., who of course is also the former financial secretary. And Whitfield and I served on the board together for many years. Whitfield, thank you for your service. Truly appreciate it. Also want to recognize a former member of our board in Mr. Pete Hurst, the one and only. These men served. And when we celebrate 40 years, they are part of this enterprise. And we did not want to forget them. Thank you, Mr. Hurst, for your service. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Please. Thank you. Watch your step. Thank you. We also want to recognize, not here, but Mr. Alphonsus Derrick, who served as on the board as well, former financial secretary. I had the pleasure of serving with him as well on the board. And if I missed anyone, we will get your token to you. So I want to thank all of our former Monetary Council members and board members. Yeah, so one of the other persons who is not here, also in Dubai, of course, is Sir Malwin Joseph, and we would, in due course, get his token to him. But Sir Malwin was on the Monetary Council, and in fact, when the building was built, the first building, he was the chairman of the Monetary Council at that point in time. So Sir Malwin, if you're hearing us at this time, thank you for your service as well. And now, before we sit, we'd like to invite His Excellency, Sir Rodney Williams, to also receive from the chairman of the Monetary Council a special token of our 40th anniversary. Join you for the picture as well. Thank you. Thank you. And could I ask the executive committee and country manager, you can join us as well. We take a pic with our chairman. We don't get him too often for a picture, so you get to sit and stand in the middle. I have to put you inside. Yeah, that looks better. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Team ECCB. Thank you, Chairman. I think that's it.
And not to keep you from the cocktail much longer, but we do have one more presentation from the Antigua Dance Academy. The Antigua Dance Academy will perform a copyrighted dance entitled Sunday Belly. It gives us great pleasure to perform an Antiguan dance that has been conceptualized by the director, where Antiguan women, traditional clothing and movements, and the music by the drummers have been composed solely for this dance. The dance chosen to be performed tonight honors a true Antiguan, Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. And so we invite the Antigua Dance Academy as they perform Sunday Belly.
comes a belly gal, belly gal, belly gal. Here comes a belly gal early Sunday morning. Here comes a belly gal, belly gal, belly gal. Here comes a belly gal early Sunday morning. Come we go down, go see that woman. Come we go down today. Come we go down, go see that woman. Come we go down belly. Come, come, come we go down today. Come, come, come we go down belly. a belly gal, belly gal, belly gal. Here comes a belly gal early Sunday morning. Here comes a belly gal, belly gal, belly gal. Here comes a belly gal early Sunday morning.
Thank you very much, Antigua Dance Academy, for that cultural rendition, really taking us back in time to what is traditional to us. As we bring the curtains down on this momentous occasion, I invite Dr. Valda Henry to bring to us our closing remarks. And again, Dr. Henry is the Deputy Governor of our central bank.
Good evening, Your Excellency, Chairman, Survive, Governor, all of you distinguished guests here, as well as those online. It is indeed a real pleasure being here this evening as we mark one more event in our year ECCB at 40, year of reflection, celebration, and implementation. That year opened on January 19th, 2023 with our launch of this year. And we've had many activities I hope you've been following, from the lecture series, that was one of it was held here, our Family Fun Day, Creative Arts Festival, our global conference that was truly, truly a wonderful event that most people deemed it was the best ever conference attended. And here we are this evening to celebrate an icon. An icon not just in cricket, but when we think of Survive, or at least when I think of Survive, I think also of leadership, I think of discipline, I think of respect. And these are qualities and integrity, and these are qualities that are so needed in our world today. As we grapple with youth violence, as we grapple with, so many issues, if we would get back to these 4 basic things, at least 4, and there are much more, our world and our Caribbean would be so much a better place, a place where, we can thrive. And, I was, a great cricket fan, and then I stopped because I almost got a heart attack a few years back. And I said, the West Indies cricket team, not under Survive, of course, responsible for some deaths in our region. And, but with Survive, there was pride. And many years ago at the ECCB, Michael Holding was brought to do a lecture. Sir Governor Venner brought him in. And like you, Chair, Michael Holding, when I was younger, I used to say, I'm going to get married to Michael Holding. I just love that man. And my father would say, I was a little child, 5, 6 years and so on. My father would say, Valda, please get your realistic goals now. Okay, it's not going to happen. And, so when I met him, they did say that. And one of the things he said, he had to give a lecture. And one of the things he said to us was that, he admired the leadership of Survive. He said Survive, was a disciplinarian, and he set rules and he kind of led them. And so that sometimes there would be disagreements among the players and even fights on the bus to the playing field. But once they got down that bus, it was the West Indies cricket team. And they were not just playing for themselves, they were playing for the region, but they were also playing to avenge history. And even after the match and they went back on the bus, sometimes the fight would continue. But on that field, it was the West Indies cricket team. And that is what leadership is about. So Survive, we honor you. And we thank you for your sterling example of leadership for the region. And I'm really happy tonight happened because let me tell you, I think Governor told you, we've been trying to pin this down for a few months now. Well, one time I think Miss Debbie was even evading me because she was not returning my calls anymore because I guess she had run out of what to tell me. And so here we are. As I said to him this coming in, that it looked like he's busier now, more engaged now than when he was the captain of the West Indies cricket team. And we give God thanks for that. And as I come with my closing, I also will do thanks. Because as we give God thanks for the life of Sir Vive, we too must stop and give God thanks for our own lives. Every day we get up and we're alive, it's a blessing. A lot of people don't like old age, but I always say old age, especially with health, is a double blessing. Because this week and including today, I have had so many news of deaths of persons very close to me. A dear friend, another good friend of my nephews who are devastated by that loss. And today we mourn the passing and celebrate the life of Dr. Carissa Etienne, former director of PAHO, a Dominican and a close relative of mine, and also close family and friend. And as I think about that, I said, we just have to just give thanks. As St. Paul tells us in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, in everything we are to give thanks, for this is the will of God for us and Christ Jesus concerning you. And so I start off. Your Excellency, we thank you for being here with us this evening, for gracing us with your presence and making this event truly an event of high honor, because the person who represents the highest honor in the land, the highest position, has graced us with his presence. Chair Gonzalez, Chair of the ECCB Monetary Council, and our head and leader, we thank you for being here. Let me tell you a little story. The chair almost didn't make it, but he was so determined he was going to come to sit next to his idol that he moved heaven and earth to get here. And so, Chair, thank you for this. So, Viv, I'm going to leave you for last. Man of honor, Governor Timothy N.J. Antoine, who passionate about innovation, creativity, but also about recognizing our own. And so Governor leads and we follow. So Governor, we thank you for your sterling leadership. D. Tracy Polias, who is our Chief Director of Policy. Tracy, give them a little stand, let them see who you are, please. She is D. Tracy. Again, different. She holds us to account. Me in particular, she's always on my case, but we get on well. Rosbert, the man of the hour to some extent, because he is the one who made all of this possible, together with Gareth of Delarue. I always say without Rosbert, you'll have no money to do what you need. He is the man, Gareth, how do we say thank you to you and to Delarue for understanding what we wanted? They understood our vision. Yes, we wanted a change and we wanted to celebrate and honor Sir Vive. But we also wanted a note that was reflective of the people of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And don't you think that Delarue did an outstanding job in getting that? These notes are absolutely pretty. They are so beautiful. And so I thank you. I thank Mr. Aubrey Lacou Samuels for the musical interlude at the beginning, as well as for doing the national anthem on Pan, and that was absolutely beautiful. Bishop Philbert Johnson for our prayer and invoking God's blessings on this evening, and tonight has truly been a blessing. Thank you, Pastor. Carol, and not just Carol, I want to recognize here to the Antigua office, agency office, Carol, Mary Jean, and Shari, for doing all of the work. And Carol is supposed to be on leave, but she came back early to ensure that all was in order for this evening. Valencia Grant, who isn't here, and CRD, our Corporate Relations Department, for the historical reel that you saw. And I'm sure for some of you, you got some information about ECCB that you did not know before. So we thank them for that. Again, we thank Honorable Daryl Matthew for stepping in and giving not just the lecture or the remarks on behalf of the Prime Minister, but giving his own remarks, recognizing too the greatness of Sir Vive. King Shortshirt, Sir McLean, we give you thanks. Did you see all those grooves that King Shortshirt had? You know, still batting, even at his age. King Shortshirt, thank you so much for this. As well as the Cutting Edge Band who accompanied him, and afterwards, they too will be providing entertainment together with Sir McLean. Again, a thank you to the Antigua Dance Academy. As I was listening, I was like, oh, watching. I was like, that's a combination of all our local dances in Dominica. I saw a little bit of quadrille, I saw a little bit of flotation, and I saw some of the ballet. They did their own interpretation, but I could identify at least 3 of our national dances. So, Antigua Dance Academy, take a bow. I want to also thank all of you for making it here. Friends and family of Sir Vive, friends and family of the ECCB, friends and family of the ECCU. You took your time to make it here. It's a Friday night, you could be many different places, but you are here and we say thank you. I thank also all of you watching, all the viewing public, and I encourage you, you know, those of you who maybe just came in and had to leave to come back again, if you missed the beginning, to go back all the way to the beginning. And I want to recognize here, you know, they said the foundation, a house is as strong as the foundation on which it lies. And I want to recognize all our founding leaders for our 40 years of sustainability, 40 years of protecting and our currency and our economies, 40 years of advancing the good of our people, and where we want our people to not just strive but thrive. And that's why we are here about transformation, and Governor Antoine is so clear on that, that our job and what we have to do is to transform our ECCU through innovation and collective action. And that means all of you, all of us, must come together and work together to get that to do. But our founding fathers, those who, most of them are not here, but there is one still living, the signatories to this agreement. The Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Simmons, our first governor, Sir Cecil Jacobs, Sir K. Dwight Venner, our first deputy governor, Sir Errol Allen, our second deputy governor, who is in our midst, and Mr. Trevor Bradford, take a stand, let the people see you, who served as deputy governor for 15 years. Mr. Errol Harris, who isn't here, but he was the bank's first bank secretary for many years, part of the executive team. They've laid the foundation on which Governor Antoine and I and Tracy DePolius and others now stand to take ECCB to the next, to lay the foundation for the next 40 years. We thank you. And of course, Sir Vive, we thank you. But ultimately, tonight, I want to give God thanks. To give God all the praise, the glory, and the honor for keeping us for 40 years and to guide us through the next 40 years and beyond. I want to bless each and every one of us here. May the Lord bless and keep us. May the Lord shine his face upon us and be gracious to us. May the Lord uncover his face to us and grant us his peace. May he also grant us his wisdom and the gift of understanding and discernment. So we continue to lead with integrity. We continue to lead with service, always mindful that we are here to serve in whatever capacity we are called to be of service to the people of God. Thank you.
We have now come to the end of our program, and so we invite you to join us for cocktails and conversation as we have entertainment from the Cutting Edge Band and King Shortshirt. Thank you very much. Good evening.